Hello and good morning, Karina. How are you doing today?
Arrow, I'm better now that I'm hearing your voice. How are you?
Fantastic. What is it like for you to display your music, your art in front of the world right now, and so many people are saying, oh my God, this is absolutely fantastic?
It's absolutely humbling and crazy. And to me, I thought, of course there was so much effort put into this, and every minutia and minute detail of it was slaved over, and I stayed up for days on end sometimes writing the lyrics and rewriting the lyrics and throwing things out and thinking that nobody would like it and all those things, and and thinking that honestly it was too genre fluid.
Let's talk about that title track hit, because what I love about this is that it's got an EDM edge to it that really kind of draws me into the picture, because I feel like that, I've always believed that the bass guitar is my mother's heartbeat, and you really play that very well.
Thank you so much. I am a big bass guitar and sub bass and synth bass and, whatever it is fan. I love the low end. I like to live in that world for sure. And Joyride definitely has this pulsating thing throughout, and especially that hits in the choruses that I'm super proud of. And I think it's like a sonic bath that I never want to get out of.
When you take a song like Elevator, how do you put that on a live stage? Because you were talking a little bit earlier about what goes into the production of it. But I mean, Elevator, I would love to see the light show that is connected to this song.
Oh, you have no idea, Arrow. I mean, Elevator was my second single, right? And for this record, it got a facelift because of the way Elevator came to life on the live stage. And in that, Elevator, the original, if you listen to it, which is totally also on Spotify and everywhere, it didn't have live drums on it, and it didn't have this bombastic live ending that we had developed over years of touring. And I was just like, it became this huge song in our live repertoire, often a closer, more often than not. So I was like, we need to give Elevator a bit of a facelift and give it its due, because it really took on a new life. And man, Elevator live, that's talk about the light show, talk about the vibe, talk about the huge fuzz bass at the end, and just I'm a huge fan of this song. And I think now we finally gave it its proper, we gave it what it has given us in the live space, and now it is on a record. So I'm super delighted about it.
I've been blessed to spend a lot of time with the group Yes, who really promotes a lot of progressive rock. With the song All That You Wanted, would you slip this into that category of prog rock? Because it really has that, it's progressive. It's got that vibe about it.
On All That You Wanted? Really? That's awesome. I don't think of that tune in particular in that way, though I'm a huge Chris Squire fan, and I'm a big Yes fan in every regard, for sure. So if it permeates into tunes like that, that's awesome. No, to me, All That You Wanted is a synthy indie pop rock song with, psychedelia drenching it on all four corners. But I love that you think that. That's awesome. That's great for me. That's the thing about, my brain is so chameleonic, genre-wise, that, so many influences that are disparate that you wouldn't even think, would permeate into each tune. I feel like people are picking up on things where I'm like, well, you make a good point, because how many, years have I spent trying to be like Chris Squire? Many, so that's the cool part of all this. It's a cool thing. People are picking up little elements of it that I wouldn't even pick up on myself, which is amazing.
The vibe that I picked up on the album Joyride is the fact that you love to explore, and I have to ask if you were inspired in any way by Depeche Mode, because that song Beacon, I swear to God, I've heard that thing 30 times already.
Wow, that's awesome. I love Depeche Mode, absolutely. And, talk about pioneers of electronic exploration, Beacon in particular, that's interesting. That's cool that you think that. I think, Joyride, like we were talking about with a lot of the synth bass that's happening there, that feels Depeche Mode-esque to me. And even All That You Wanted, that as well, with a lot of the kind of chopped up, subs that kind of permeated, especially that you hear in the beginning, the kind of stuff, So, there's definitely a Depeche Mode influence. There's a Cocktail Twins influence. There's so much. It's really, poor everyone else having to digest just the plethora of influences that I have. So, yeah. Certainly. Love Depeche Mode.
Speaking of influences, I love the idea that music is, they're bringing forward the women on the bass guitar, because here in Charlotte, we've got Abby Kay, who's tearing things up in Nashville right now, and then you on the bass guitar. I mean, it's almost like especially when I listen to your music, I feel like there's some sting, and I also feel like there's some rush in there. There's just so much involved with the way that you're bringing that bass guitar forward.
Oh my God. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Let me tell you, Sting and Geddy Lee in particular are some of my hugest influences. And of course, I play in a 3-piece as well, much like the Police and Rush. So to have that sort of vibe, even though I'm layering a lot of instruments on this record, and it's much larger than that. And when we play live, it sounds larger than the sum of our parts as well, but, yeah, I mean, talk about bass playing frontmen that are of the utmost, to me, I admire Sting and Geddy Lee more than almost anybody, in the sense that it's very hard to play bass and sing at the same time. Every time I play guitar and sing at the same time, I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. But what can you do?
That's got to be some sort of magic trick, because when you say sing, play the bass guitar, you've also got to be in tune with that drum set too. So that's 3 personalities going at the same time.
Oh my God! I mean, tell me about it. It's it's one of those things where you're just like, well, you dug this grave, baby. Now you got to lie in it. Now you got to be, good. Now you got to actually own up to what you've written, and bring it to a stage and have it translate. God willing, It's a challenge that I am up for.
When you start putting songs together, do you become hypnotized like I did with the song Trampoline? I've got the finished product. I'm going through where I'm hypnotized, but you, the one that created the song, what did you go through?
I went through hell in a handbasket, Arrow. I went through absolute days on end torment. I went through, nights on the floor of my bedroom, scrawling away lyrics, throwing them away, thinking they were terrible, rewriting, writing again, et cetera, and just, that one in particular, it has gone. It was meticulously worked on, and the synth work on that is I owe a lot of that to Gabe Monroe, my producer, my songwriting partner, my right-hand man. We created these kind of sort of lush soundscapes throughout that, we were adding things and then it was too much and then we were taking them away. And that tune also, you'll notice it's not a verse, chorus, verse linear song. Right. It's very much, it starts in point A and it really ends in point D, and very few elements are repeated, so it was cool. And then Trey Anastasio, for him, he heard the original demo of it and was like, the part that sticks out to me the most is when we wake up, will the lights go out? When the lights go out, is it over? And then the whole outro with the jangly guitar and whatnot, and the very, all that is Trey Anastasio, embellishment of and addition. So that, kind of put a bow on the whole thing, and I thought it was a beautiful way to end the record. So I'm delighted that you are hearing what I slaved over and what we, worked and reworked tirelessly, and you like it.
Wow.
I'm very stoked on it.
Karina, you got to come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
Arrow, don't even tempt me with a good time like that, please. I'll talk to you any day of the week, any time. Day, night, whatever you got, just call. I'm here with answers. You got questions, I got answers.
I love that attitude. Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
Definitely. You do the same. Thank you so much for having me. This has been a delight.